Yo, what's going on, guys? This is back here with another Animal Jam video, and in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about this new glitched item in the game that is quite weird. It's technically not an item, but it's technically not a pet either, which I guess you'll see what I mean by that in here in a second. But before I do want to get into that, I want to quickly talk about today's video giveaway. As always, for the blue headdress, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel, notifications on, drop a like on the video, and then drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video after you finished it. Extra entries can be found in the description, and the giveaway ends at 30k. So this glitched item was just found earlier today, technically in the early morning of the 4th of December for me, so 12 a.m. so about 8 hours ago or so as I'm recording this. This was posted in a random server I got invited to actually by a person named Tot, so shout out to them for finding this, I guess, or owning this. Now I have no idea how they found this item, but I'll throw it on screen right now. This is pretty much a pet rooster that isn't actually a pet. So as you can see in these screenshots here, the first one here, they're showing a player card. I'm pretty sure this is their account with the pet rooster in their den, and they're showing their pet list that doesn't actually show the rooster on it. They actually show their pet list as well. It doesn't show the pet in it, and then they show their den item inventory, which the pet actually shows up in instead of the pet tab, which usually here, as you can see here, I'm in my den item inventory here as an example. You know, I have this pet firefly here. This is showing up here rather instead of here in the normal den item inventory. And they got a few trade attempts for them as well. I'll put some of them on screen right now. So people are trading pretty high amounts already for this item, just so you know. It is a glitched item. It's not just a pet that people are confusing to be like a glitched item or something, even though it looks pretty ordinary. However, one distinct feature, I guess, in difference from normal pets, I guess, which kind of separates this from actually being worth something, I guess, is the fact that this is giftable. You can't actually gift pets on the game. So if I try to gift my buddy here, well, I can't actually open up the menu, but usually I'll put an example on screen. You can't cycle into the pet tab when gifting an item, kind of like where here you have all three sections here that you can tab into. And that's kind of the distinct feature. But let's talk about how this is even a thing and why does it exist, and if there has been stuff like this before. So I actually do just want to quickly show the actual item itself here in the video as well, just so you know that it still does exist in the game. So we have Judos here, and we can see on the trade list, this is the actual pet, and there's also a pretty distinct thing as well. The pet certificate doesn't show up, and the pet doesn't have a name that usually does show up when you actually put a pet on trade. As you can see, the little blue certificate you can open here, that's not present on this one. So this has actually happened before, way back in, I believe, 2014, 2015. We had the appearance of a red ferret in the game, and it was a pet ferret, but the kind of more exciting thing back then when this first happened initially was the fact that pets weren't tradable back then. So it made the item even more special, I guess, in a lot of people's eyes. I know for me back then, I did want this item, and unfortunately it ended up getting banned, which I do believe I talked about this item specifically in a video before. However, I'm not going to decline an opportunity to talk about some useless Animal Jam item trivia that I have stored in my memories. But pretty much how this initially got into the game was Animal Jam gifted it to somebody by mistake instead of gifting them a adopt a pet pop-up, pretty much, which is usually what they do now when they're recovering pets to people's accounts. And the reason they even gifted it in the first place was part of a membership bundle somebody didn't get when they redeemed a membership card back then for the pet ferret bundle, which was exclusive at that time, and it pretty much ended up becoming a glitched den item. And as I said, that inevitably got banned, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. But there has not been another appearance of an item like that ever since that initial one got banned, and that one was one of a kind, obviously, as you might think it would be. So now that you know like the history behind these kind of pet den items, why do these even exist in the first place? Now, fun fact, this actually exists for every pet in the game. There's actually a default den item version of every pet in the game like this. The only difference is all of them aren't available in game. Obviously, they are technically, I guess, unreleased or test items, I guess you could say, that are locked behind Animal Jam's, you know, secret files and whatnot, to put it bluntly, I guess. Now, if I had to assume why these even exist in the first place, it probably had something to do with them testing how den items kind of work with pets being placed in the den. So imagine, you know, placing down my pet hamster. This is probably not the ideal den to do this this in now that I'm thinking about it. But, you know, when it comes to like placing down a pet, it kind of acts like a normal den item would. You know, you can flip it, you can turn it, whatever. And that's kind of similar to how these kind of glitched den pet items are. I guess my explanation would be that these exist for actual pets that you own to be masked over those versions, but it's like they don't actually exist in the game. Unless really weird circumstances are met where Almajam accidentally deliberately gifts one of these to a player. So I guess that would be the case here, with at least the pet ferret, that was the case. How this pet rooster got into the game, I'm not too sure. How Top found it, I'm not too sure. I'm kind of gonna assume that they didn't find it in so legitimate means, to put it lightly, if you kind of get my drift. But regardless of the ethics on that, if I had to assume on how this specific one of this item got into the game, I'm gonna have to assume maybe the same kind of case where Almajam, you know, was recovering pets for somebody and accidentally gave them the den item version of it instead of the actual adopt a pet certificate that you usually get when you're like redeeming a code for a pet, or in the cases of when Almajam does recover pets for people, usually they open it up in a jamagram and then allows them to actually make the pet through there. And if this wasn't the case, I'm gonna assume wherever they got it from, the original person might have got it from just a random person that might have been a developer for the game, because, you know, there has been a concerning amount of items that have kind of seeped away into the public just from developer accounts that have went defunct or inactive or something. So that could also be a likely explanation. But regardless of all that, I figured this would be a pretty fun thing to talk about because, you know, new, exciting, weird, glitched item in the game that you wouldn't even think is really that rare. It probably is going to get traded way more than it's probably worth because of recency bias. But when it kind of all goes down, I imagine it'll kind of be pinpointed on an exact worth for it. From what I know, the owner's kind of garnering kind of attempts they can get for it right now. So that might affect what people kind of determine the worth to be. But yeah, big shout out to Tot again and their Discord. And it is a good thing I just randomly clicked onto it because I probably would not have known about this quickly if I didn't. But yeah, I suppose that's going to wrap us up here. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you guys do want to be notified on future videos as well as videos just like this one. Do make sure to leave a like on it if you did enjoy it as well. And do let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about all this. And if you could have a kind of an unreleased glitched item in the game, which one would it be? Do let me know in the comments. And yeah, with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.